Okay, I'm here now.
Okay, Kenny. Good afternoon. This is Fernando. Can you hear me?
I can. Hi, Fernando.
Excellent, excellent. Well, nice meeting you. I'm Fernando. I am one of the hosts for Aspen 102.3 FM, which is the top music FM station in Argentina, and we're very excited to talk to you and about your visit to the country. Thank you for this
Thank you
contact.
very much. Great.
Well,
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Kenny, tell us about your feelings about coming back to Argentina after 15 years. The last time you performed here in this country was in 2010. What memories do you have from that performance?
Well, the performance, I remember just the beautiful city. Buenos Aires is beautiful, it's like a European city,
Yes.
and really enjoyed. Of course, we had a warm welcome. I do remember having steaks and red wine at like 11 o'clock at night outside,
Or even
thinking
late,
this is
even later than that.
even later than that. So I thought, wow, this is, and everybody was out, so it was really fun. I want to do that again.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you're gonna have a great time because you're gonna be coming at the beginning of the spring, which is maybe the best time of the year to be in the city. Well,
Fantastic.
you're presenting a new album of original material and new standards, which is influenced by romantic jazz standards of the 50s and 60s. How do you achieve a balance between old and new, between classic and original? How's that search?
It's a good question. I just try to do what feels right. I don't have a formula. I try to make sounds that sound to me like something that might have been done in that time period, but then I have to give it my style, and
Hmm.
maybe that makes it sound more modern when I play on it. So it's like a it's it just
It
happens. I
you go-
just
you
do.
go
Yeah, yeah. I just come up with something that I feel is a good sound that's and it's like a mixture. I don't have I wish I could tell you how it happens. It just happens.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
The instrument you play, sax, the saxophone is such a special instrument. No, it has the power of immediately triggering in the listener certain images, feelings. Why do you think the saxophone conquers audiences beyond borders, generations, ears, genres?
It's the person playing it. It's not just the
Ah,
saxophone.
yeah,
So
okay.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Um,
of course.
yeah, it's one of those instruments that's well, you know what? On any instrument, if it's in the right hands, can
Hmm.
sound very emotional and it can capture a lot of different feelings. So that's I particularly like the saxophone, but I've heard beautiful renditions on trumpet and
Okay.
cello and flute are great too. But for me, of course, the saxophone is the best, and I think it can express more clearly the different emotions.
Hmm. Well, in that regard, why do you think your music has appealed to so many people around the planet? Over 70 million records sold
Yeah,
throughout your
you
career.
know, again, there's no formula. It's like I think an artist, you have to do what sounds good to you. You try to be original, That's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to play the saxophone the way I wanted to play it. I wasn't trying to be different. I was just playing it my way.
Mhm.
And at first, a lot of people would tell me, "Well, your sax doesn't sound like other people's saxophones," and I didn't like that. I thought, well,
You
that's
didn't like those comments.
no, I was trying to sound like heroes that I had listened to. Like why can't I sound like them? But then after a while, you realize that that's really a great thing to not sound like anybody. And then I make up songs, and I remember people telling me, "Well, those don't sound like songs." I said,
Hmm.
"Well, I don't know. They just sound good to me." So luckily, a lot of people connect with just the way that I do
Hmm.
what comes naturally to me. So that's very lucky for me because it didn't have to be that way. It could have been a different way.
It seems to me that you're a man who rejects labels being tagged on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm a guy I'm not a white and black guy, so it can't be right or wrong. There's
Hmm.
like if somebody says, "Well, that doesn't sound right." It's like, "Well, okay, but I
Well,
like it." So that's it.
yeah,
I like
exactly,
it. Yeah.
exactly. Well, and talking about inspiration and what you express with your music, what themes, topics issues inspire you for creating your
Hmm.
melodies?
I don't think that happens for me. I don't think it's that way. It's all about the music and the melodies and the sound of the saxophone. So when I practice my saxophone and do my scales and the things that I
Yeah.
work on, something in there triggers something. Like it's
Hmm.
not like I'm sad, I miss somebody, I'm gonna go write a song because I miss them. I just start working with the sounds that I hear from my saxophone and a
Hmm.
melody comes. And then after I make up the song, I might then go, wow, that song reminds me of
Yeah. Yeah.
this or that. And
Yeah.
then it could be a feeling about it, but it's not how it starts.
Okay, okay, okay. So it's the other way around. I mean, it's an
Yeah.
abstract thing, the music, the sound, and then you try to interpret to give it a name.
Yeah, and sometimes I can't think of a name because it just sounds good to me, but it doesn't have any like connection to anything. So
Mhm.
it's like sometimes I say, well, what I have to think of a name, and sometimes it's hard to think of a name for a song.
So
Sometimes.
it's okay for you if the listener interprets the song the way they want.
That's why I like to make the names of my songs very vague so that like my song Songbird. Well, what does
Mhm.
songbird mean?
Yeah,
It's not really a bird flying.
yeah.
What does it mean? So it's just like, okay, what does my song Silhouette mean? What's silhouette? We know what a silhouette is, but what does it mean to you? It's okay. You can think about whatever you want. So I like that. To me,
Well,
that's the way. Yeah,
but take one of your hits, and it's a track that our listeners in this station absolutely adore, which is "Forever in Love."
yeah.
There's no better name for that
No,
that song.
yeah.
Tell me about the background and what it generates on stage. Many people are very excited about listening to that track here in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely play it. We play it. That's one of the songs we absolutely play. I remember when I wrote that song, I couldn't think, I had the first part, but I couldn't find the second part. It was like the first part, beautiful, and I had no idea what to do with it. And it just sat there for like 2 months. I didn't really think about it, honestly. And this is one of the rare things where the idea came to me when I was just opened my eyes in the one morning and I went, "Oh, I know what to do with that song."
Good.
And then I went down to my studio and finished it, and it was like it took me like 10 minutes. But yeah, and that song actually, when I recorded it, was the first time that the world had digital recording. We had analog, and that was 1992-ish, 1991, 1992.
Early 90s.
Digital, yeah, digital recording was just becoming something. We still had tape. It still wasn't on a disc, but still tape, but it was digital. And that song was one of the first songs I did on a digital tape, which let me have lots of control. So when I recorded Forever in Love, I could play a few notes. Let me fix that. Let me make it. I could really do it. In analog, you kind of have to play it all
Yeah.
like long sections.
My next
And so,
question was going to be related to that. Now, fast forward 30 years from that moment when
yeah,
you first experimented with digital technologies. How do you
yeah,
feel today? I mean, with
yeah,
modern recording techniques, digital
yeah.
instruments,
Great.
loops versus
Yeah.
having old school musicians playing together with you.
Yeah, honestly, there's advantages to both. I like the modern stuff because it gives me the control.
Hmm.
I think for me, I use the modern, but I like it to sound as if it's old school, but I want the control of the modern digital. It's just great to me to be able to cut and paste
Hmm.
things and move things and try things that I wouldn't normally do. And then all of a sudden, wow, this is something that I would never have played like that. Wow, and then I play it. Then I go, okay, let me replay it so I'm actually playing it. And then it's like, wow, this is so great. This is so great. So I really love modern recording techniques because I can work on something. I can send an email to somebody with an attachment, and then
Hmm.
they can play their part on it and send an email back to me. It's like, this is great. We don't have to book a studio. We don't have to meet. I don't have to explain anything to you. You do your thing and then send it to me. And then
Well,
even if I don't like what you played perfectly, I can still change what you played on with my digital stuff. So it's great.
absolutely. And speaking of that, I mean, acting, working as a producer. your stuff. How do you pick the instrumentation to support your sax playing? Like, how do you make the decision? I wanna E piano, an 80s E piano behind, or strings,
Yeah,
or a classic piano behind this. How do you make that decision?
good question. I don't know. I really don't. Um, it
Pairing
just
that you have to
it
do.
depends on I experiment. We experiment with different sounds of different keyboard sounds. As you know, you obviously know what you're doing because you know the terminology. So that's true, and it sounds a lot different with an acoustic piano than it does with like an electric piano that's got some sort of
Sometimes
a
it's key,
yeah,
no? Like the pairing, like it takes it to a whole different level.
completely makes a night or day difference. I completely agree. If you
Mhm.
get that right, then you got it. It's really the keyboard and the sax sound. That's the magic combination. And one song will have an acoustic sound that sounds perfect. The other song will be very electric and it'll have some sort of a chime with the piano.
Yeah.
That's the magic. And
Yeah.
you couldn't do that before.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, if
Yeah.
you hadn't been a sax player, what instrument do you think you'd be playing?
I don't even know if I'd be a musician if I wasn't a sax player. I'd probably be
What
I
would
don't
you
know.
be if you weren't a musician?
My dad was a plumber. I might be a plumber.
Good.
I like plumbing. I like it. I
It's
know how to do it.
useful, very useful,
Oh yeah.
very well paid in Argentina.
And you help people,
Uh,
people always a plumber's
in
always like, "Oh,
distress.
thank you." Yeah.
Any comments on Argentine music you're familiar with? Our most iconic sax player is obviously Gato Barbieri, but we also have Astor Piazzolla or Gustavo Santaolalla, just to mention a few instrumentalists who are known internationally.
Honestly, I've never been a person to really listen to other music very much. When I grew up, I listened to the old school jazz, but that's kind of it. I really don't listen a lot, and I think that's the key for me having my own sound is that I don't listen very much, so I don't think that I should try to sound like somebody. Like if somebody has something that they did is super great, I wouldn't even know about it, which is good. If I knew about it, then I might, oh, let me try to do that. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a mistake that a lot of other
You want to
saxophone
a
players,
as blank a page as possible.
that's the key to me and I think that's a mistake that other musicians make is they listen too much and then everybody sounds the same. They're great. They're great musicians. Like Gato had his own sound. I guarantee you he wasn't listening. Well, in our day, we didn't have Instagram and all the things, so we couldn't really listen like we did. I'm sure that he just figured out how to play that sax with his long tones and that sound that he does. And like one of the guys in my group loves Gato, my percussionist. He loves him. And he tells me, "Why don't you play something like Gato?" I said, Watch me try. I can't do it. I
Yeah,
can't even do it.
get it, get it.
And you know what I mean? So that's his thing. And he became, if he didn't sound like that, he would not be so well known. That was his one thing. I have my sound. I'm very grateful that I can do my thing, but that's the key. The key is seclude yourself, get your own stuff happening, and keep your fingers crossed that people like it because they may not like it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Kenny, this has been fantastic. To wrap it up, I would like to ask you if you could send a message to our listeners. Excited to see you at the Gran Rex Theater on Corrientes Avenue, which is our Broadway, our West End, on October 11. Any message to the listeners of Aspen 102.3 FM?
Okay, well, listeners of Aspen 102.3 FM. So Kenny G here. I hope you come down to see our concert. Thank you for listening to the station, by the way. This is a great station. So we all appreciate your support. And you know what? Let's just say, even if you're not a big fan of saxophone, my band is amazing. My percussionist is so good. Bass player, so good. Keyboard players, guitar, drummer. You'll see all great musicianship. So, if you have kids or people that are thinking about maybe starting an instrument, let them come and watch what we can do after playing our instruments for 50 years. I'm going to say we're pretty good, but we're really very good. So come see us.
Kenny, thank you very much for this. It's been fantastic. All the best, and looking forward to see you here in Buenos Aires. Hope you enjoy your stay with us.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
All the best. Thank
All the
you.
best.